What's going on? European physicians are loudly and persistently asking, what has changed the most in this children's environment during those intervening years? And there is only one answer. So we're talking about cell phone altered brains. Toddlers, teens, tweens, adults, doesn't matter. But kids are most susceptible because they have thinner skulls and the radiation penetrates deeper and their cells, as we mentioned, are dividing quicker. But the results across the population are lack of concentration, memory loss, inability to learn, and aggressive behavior. Geez, if you're a controlling elite, how great is that? Perfect. No one can make a sense out of anything. No one's got an attention span anymore. No one can remember a baseline where things were better. Dr. Gerald Hyland is not the only doctor. He's one of the first to say, my advice would be not cut back. My advice is avoid cell phones. And then another obscenity, so many children with asthma. Drives me nuts. Sydney, Australia, first city to go wireless. Wow, we got wireless. Oops, 25% spike in asthma cases. 5% spike in death rates after they went wireless. Ola Johansson, I quote him a lot. He's in Sweden, associate professor of neuroscience at Karolinska Institute in Stockholm. He says, point blank, parents should take their children away from that technology. Period. And do yourself a favor and take yourself away from it at the same time. I mentioned chronic fatigue. It's huge in Japan. I live there. Very hyper society. Go, go, go. Well, a doctor did an experiment, and he had some people, would you hold that cell phone up to your head? Sure. 30 seconds, blood flow to the brain drops by half. And you wonder why you're fuzzy. What about the eyes? A 10-year-old child absorbs 5 times more cell phone radiation in their eyes than an adult. Whether you're a child or an adult, tiny bubbles are created on the lens of the eye. Amy Worthington, I love her, she does excellent work. She says, what is safe about micro-cooking a child's eyes? I don't know, Amy, but I do know that people that wear wire-frame glasses are even more susceptible to cell phone radiation. Oh, you're having trouble hearing me? Oh, do you have to ask people to keep repeating themselves? Do people complain when you turn up the volume on the television or the stereo too loud? Do you have difficulty following conversations in a noisy environment? Difficulty hearing when someone speaks in a whisper? Guess what? Your cell phone should come with this guarantee, absolute guarantee. Using this device more than 60 minutes a day for just 1 year will result in high-frequency hearing loss. You will no longer be able to hear consonants like S, F, T, Z. Conversations will start sounding like a Martian dialect. Warmth and ringing in the ears is a warning sign. Well, these things might not be so convenient after all. But that's okay. Let's put them in our classrooms because our kids have got to be with the wireless age. So go ahead, put your wireless laptops in the classroom, and now you've got radiation levels 3 times higher in the classroom than in that mobile phone transmitter in the schoolyard outside. These kids aren't going to learn anything, but they will be impaired for life. I'm not saying that. Spanish doctors are saying that. They fear that disturbed brain activity in children will lead to impaired learning ability as well as psychiatric and behavioral problems. That sounds pretty bad. Dr. David Carpenter, he's the Dean of the School of Public Health at State University in New York. He says, I believe that 30% of all childhood cancers are associated with EMF exposure. What in the world are children doing getting cancer? Brain tumors are now the #1 cause of death in children. That is obscene. Oh yeah, here's the slogan. Wherever you go, there we are. No member in the family should be without one. That's criminal. Or as Dr. Carlo said on New Zealand television, that's grotesque. With 50,000 new diagnosed cases of brain and eye cancer every year, we're heading rapidly, the experts tell us, to 500,000 cases over the next few years worldwide, and we'll pick a number. And we're having some problems with the bees. Remember the bees, how their populations have plummeted around the world. Well, in India, they found that after the towers were installed by cell phone companies, and beekeeping is a very big industry in southern India, their bee populations collapsed. It turns out that honeybees have millions of magnetic crystals in their abdomens, so they're the most sensitive navigators along Earth's magnetic field lines. They're the most susceptible to cell phone and other wireless radiation. And they fly out and find food and come back and they do a dance. And their wing beats gives the direction and distance to the food, frequency again. If that's messed up with microwave radiation, well, there are going to be some very hungry bees. When a cell phone, not a tower, when a cell phone was put near a beehive, the worker bees were unable to return, resulting in the collapse of that colony within 10 days. Bees pollinate almost half the crops on this earth. And now we fear that honeybees could be wiped out in 10 years. But at least, don't worry so much about the children, because we're not having many more children. Infertility is a spreading epidemic directly associated with countries married to their cell phones. In India, 2008-2009 study, whoa, big freak out. 1 in 4 married couples in Delhi are infertile. What does that mean? It means they could not conceive even after trying for 2 years or more. 1 in 4. And we see this around the world. Male infertility especially increasing very fast in at least 4 out of 10 cases. The result of poor sperm quality and low sperm count. Universal now. And coinciding with the rapid spread of wireless technologies and radiation. The press in India also reports, quote, mushrooming cell phone towers on the rooftops across the nation. They don't put it together. Well, I suggest that these are towers of lethal babble. We know that irreversible sterility occurs in mice after 5 generations exposure to a fraction of a microwatt of this radiation. If you're living near a cell phone tower, you are receiving up to 70 microwatts per square centimeter. We've got more than 2 million of these damn towers, cell phone towers, damn towers, and antennas in the United States. Many are now being disguised as trees, plastic trees, great disguise, flagpoles, water towers, chimneys, gas stations, and church steeples. Why disguise cell phone towers unless there's something to hide? Oh, and one other thing, cell phone towers must boost their power radically to penetrate rain. Scientists in Israel are now using this to measure rainfall accurately. They don't need rain gauges everywhere. They said, this is great. We've got a network of these towers that spans almost the entire globe, and we can get accurate rainfall measurements by measuring their power output. Here in Canada, Canadian activists are seeking at least a 500-meter buffer. It's a quarter mile in Russia, but 500-meter buffer from each of the 10,000 or more cell phone towers in this country. I'm also very concerned about this Alzheimer's epidemic and its direct link to cell phone and other wireless radiation. What happens is these brain proteins change shape and clump together and form pathological or sickening protein fibrils like those found in Alzheimer's and Parkinson's patients. People are finding this in France, they're finding this in China. The Lancet, you've heard the Lancet medical journal, says Alzheimer's rates are exploding, their words. More than 26 million people are diagnosed with this disease, probably much higher. The latest forecast sees this number quadrupling by 2050, just when we're really going to need our wits about us. At this rate, at least 1 in 85 people on board planet Earth will be brain wiped within 40 years. This makes me really nervous. One of the first indications of dementia and a common side effect of frequent cordless portable phone and cell phone use is memory loss. How many people do you know who use their cell phones a lot or on a portable a lot, often forget important appointments, phone numbers, errands, and directions? I know lots of people like that, but now that's becoming normal.